Hi guys, 大家好. Welcome to episode 5 in a series covering Where Winds Meet, China server gameplay. I'm loving the game, by the way. It's great. You guys are going to love it too. Today, I'll go over a PVE tier list covering all the weapon sets that are currently available on the China server. However, a big disclaimer about the tier list. First point, 2 of these weapon sets probably will not be available on release on the international version. Most likely they will be released within a few months. That's how they did it on the China server. Some of the weapon sets that are popular now, like Mortal Rope Dart, are unlocked in the second map, so you won't be able to use them immediately on release. You'll need to grind a bit to open the second map. Also, there are tunings, buffs, and nerfs going on every few months on the China server, and there's no guarantee that the meta now in China will be the same meta on November 14th. And lastly, the actual rankings shown for this tier list come from a popular Bilibili channel, which is like YouTube in China, that is covering Where Winds Meet in Chinese language. The channel is called 狂人烟缘16声, which means like Madman Where Winds Meet. It's a great channel. This video that I'm using as the basis for this information was called the August tier list for weapon skills, and it goes into a lot of detail about each weapon set and comments on why it falls into a particular ranking. I'll link the original video in the channel description, and I believe Kuangren is also posting on YouTube as well, so I'll link to that channel. But great job by this Bilibili streamer providing regular information on what's going on in the China server. So I'll be trying to sort of translate and bring that to this audience. After showing the tier list, I'll show some real PvE gameplay. One subscriber requested a 10-person raid content. So even though I was underleveled, I went in there and I got some video, but full disclosure, it was a total wipe. But clips of it are there, and you can get a feeling for the 10-person raid type content if you hadn't seen that before. That'll be at the end of the video. By the way, I gained 30 subscribers in about 2 weeks, and I just wanted to say thanks to everyone that has watched or signed up. A few weeks ago, it was only my little brother subscribing, who was cool, but he only really plays Path of Exile 2 and is not super interested in this game. So even though it's 30 subscribers, that's like 30x for me, and I think it's people that are all really interested in this game. So thank you, and on with the tier list. So we'll start this off with Inkwell Fan and Ninefold Umbrella. This is a range DPS set. We're going to rank it overall as a B. It generally has 2 elements when people are talking about this build. There's like a flying version and a ground version. And if you watch gameplay, you can often see people flying around using the umbrella and attacking from the air. And that's a pretty popular build right now. But in the flying version, the damage is considered a bit low. It's considered higher in the ground version. And it's not difficult to learn. It's kind of fun to play, especially the flying version. But overall, it's considered kind of mid in as a DPS set for PvE content. The second one is the Nameless Sword and Nameless Spear combination. Also in the B range, this is the starter build, essentially. It has good AoE damage and is popular in Guild Wars for that reason, and it's also good in PvP. But overall, the damage doesn't really meet the same level as some of the other sets, so we find it in the B set. That being said, as a starter build, it's still popular. The third set is I'm calling it the new DPS Glaive and new DPS Longsword. I don't think this was released late in China, and I don't think it's going to be available immediately on release. And I haven't been able to discover the English language used for term for this build. I think it'll probably be available kind of a few months into 2026. I wouldn't worry about it too much for now. It's kind of considered in the current meta as like a B rating with average damage, but it has an easy to learn move set. For the fourth one, Strategic Sword and Heavenquake Spear. Like this is called like the 9-9 build in China because the Chinese names of each weapon have the character for 9 in them, and it's very good. And so I'll be putting it at like the top side of the A tier. It was recently buffed. It has a high skill ceiling, though. It's considered much more difficult to play than the other sword and spear combination, which is Nameless Sword, Nameless Spear. But I guess it pays off if you want to take the time to learn a more complicated rotation move set. Right. The next one is also a set that is going to be available later on. I'm calling it the new DPS umbrella and rope dart combination. Again, I'm not sure what exactly they're going to call this set in English. It's also range DPS. Users are saying now is that it didn't really benefit from recent tunings, so it's dropped relatively in the rankings compared to other skills that were buffed. But it has good damage and it's not hard to play. It's considered weak in PvP. Everyone seems to like umbrellas right now, and I've been on a lot of instances where 4 out of 5 players had some sort of umbrella build going on, including me. Also, some of the DPS animations for umbrellas are really creative. I feel like the devs worked overtime trying to make umbrellas an appealing weapon choice when compared to, I guess, more traditional weapons like swords, glaives, spears, etc. But part of the fun of this game is just watching the move sets and being surprised by techniques used by players and different group content. And Umbrella is pretty exciting to watch. On to the Infernal Twinblades Mortal Rope Dart combination. This is definitely S tier right now. It was very popular in PvE and PvP content. It was one of the top 3 builds in PvP that I mentioned on a recent video. It's considered like very fast, high actions per minute, lots of button smashing. It's like in Guild Wars, it's like an assassin type build where people will use it to take out healers and the guild wards. Twinblades look really cool. It has a steep learning curve and probably shouldn't be your first build. Some people say this is probably going to be nerfed, so we'll see. All right, the next one, Thundercry Blade and Stormbreaker Spear. This one is going to be also kind of on the high A tier. What a story to this one. Started off really low, like to the window, to the wall low, and it went from the bottom to the top, or at least to high A tier. It's got high damage, plus it's a glaive combination with spear, and the glaive looks really cool. It's also a top PvP build, as I mentioned. It's not hard to play, and this one is also suspected of being targeted by nerfs in the future. All right, the last one, the healing build. It's also my build. What do you say about this? Do you know what healers are called on the China server? They're called Naima, which means literally wet nurse. Wet nurse. Let that sink in. But yeah, it's a badge of honor, y'all. Whatever. Anyway, so this is what I'm playing now. And it's got to be S tier. Why? It's S tier because it's the only healing build. It's the only support build, so if you need healers, you got to use this. There's no other option. It's the best. It's also the worst. I really think they should add other healing specs or more support type options for this game. I think that would make it a lot more interesting. I think healer is pretty easy to play, especially compared to healing in WoW or Throne in Liberty. And that is essentially it for the tier list. You'll see that I didn't rank anything C, and that's essentially in line with the rankings that I followed on that Bilibili channel I mentioned. I think all of these sets are pretty viable in PVE content. If you're really good at one of these sets, I mean, you can easily bring it up a rank or so just because of the way you've optimized the internal passive skills, or the time you spent learning it, or the way you weave in the kung fu type mystical arts into it. Like a lot of DPS players, they're really good at combining like the jumping attacks and the dragon breaths and these range strikes that you can get from the mystical arts. So there's a lot of room for customization. I saw someone asking on a forum somewhere if it's like a rock, scissors, paper or something like that. It's not like that. There's a lot of customization and a lot of viability and room to grow in all these builds. All right, guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'll just close this out with this footage from that raid style content. It'll continue on for a bit until everyone gets pretty much depleted and everyone elects to essentially restart. I won't provide too much. I won't provide any commentary on the mechanics because I didn't fully understand them. I was mostly just trying to stay out of the way and work through my healing rotation. Thanks very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks.